Okay. Let me adjust you just a smidge. Okay, cool. Let me walk over here real quick, grab my tablet. Okay. Make sure the volume's all good. And then we'll get started. It is set off to the side a little bit, so I want it to be like right about there. Okay, cool. Volume just a little bit. 20 is normally fine. Alright. It's been a long time. Over a month, actually, since I've actually done this, so let's do this. Hope I remember the freaking voices I had. It's been about 2 months. Alright. Court is now in session for the trial of Solomon Starbuck. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Excuse me, Mr. Justice? Yes, Your Honor? What happened to your eye? I'm fine. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Are you sure? I don't... I'm fine, Your Honor. The defense is ready. I'm sorry, Your Honor. He's been like this since yesterday. He keeps insisting it's just a sty.
I suppose it's something he doesn't want to discuss. Maybe he's entering a touchy age. Very well. And the prosecution? The prosecution appears to be ready as well.
Silence! Not yet. I'm not quite ready yet.
Hmm?
Why is the bomb display case in here? What the hell?
The prosecution is now ready.
Well, it didn't take him long this time. What's up with Blackwell?
No, then. I shall give the opening statement.
Silence! I'll do it.
You will? Well, what an unexpected surprise.
This time, I can't leave it to anyone else.
I see. Something is off with the two of you today. You both seem different somehow. Very well, Prosecutor Blackwell. Your opening statement, if you would.
It was just yesterday. Occurred the Cosmos Space Center.
Ah, that famous federal research facility of all things related to astrology, right?
Astronomy. It's astronomy. Anyway, a rocket was set to launch from there.
But at 9:28 a.m., before they can even move the rocket to the launch site, two explosive devices were detonated, and the launch was canceled.
My word! 2 bombs? How dreadful!
The defendant in today's trial is charged with both the bombing and with the murder. One Mr. Solomon Starbuck. For whatever inane reason, he detonated a bomb on the rocket he himself would be in.
Solomon Starbuck? I recognize that name. Isn't he the famous astronaut?
Correct your baldness. Mr. Starbuck was a pilot of the Hat 1 rocket 7 years ago. As you may recall, despite some interstellar trouble, his mission was a success. Some say it was a miracle he returned alive. I suppose you could say he's a living legend.
Oh,
Hey Adrian, hey Jennifer, how you guys doing? Thanks for joining, dudes. I appreciate it.
oh, I remember now. He's become something of an international celebrity, right? They even,
Oh my god, white on white is crazy.
they even turned the incident into a movie and everything. We've got a real space pioneer in court.
But even heroes tumble from their lofty heights. Returning to the subject at hand,
Ah, yes. The victim was one Clay Tarrant, a subordinate of the defendant.
indeed, a loyal disciple brutally stabbed to death by his mentor.
Stabbed to death, you say? You mean his death wasn't a result of the bombing?
Correct. Despite his lofty dreams, the victim was seen as an interloper by the defendant. And so, he was sent not into space, but to the universe which we mortals cannot see. Clay,
I think I've heard enough. The case seems pretty clear-cut at this point. However, there's still one thing I'm curious about. That metal box next to the witness stand. What purpose does it serve exactly?
since you asked so nicely, it's your coffin.
Ah! Have mercy on me!
I just, it's evidence. Due to its immense size, we've little choice but to lay it where it rests now. We shall get to the contents of the box in due time.
I feel like I just lost 50 years off my life.
Does he even have 50 years left? Inner monologue, Athena, inner monologue. Enough jabbering.
Bobby Fulbright's the name, and just as we trust. Ah, Detective Fulbright. Very well done. Please explain the details of this incident to the court if you would.
On it! First, take a look at this pamphlet from the Cosmos Space Center. In it, you will find a diagram outlining the overall layout of the Space Center. Ah, here we are. For a more detailed look on what it looks like from the left side of this building, take a look at the cross-section that we have, the police have created. See the launch pad in the main building?
The launch pad is the square building and the rounded structure is the main... the launch pad is the square building and the rounded structure is the main building, right?
You've got it! The incidents took place in launch pad 1 and in the main building's lounge. I'll be using this diagram during the testimony. It'll make it easier to understand. Space Center diagram added to it. Cross-section view of the main center, or main building of the Space Center and launch pad 1. Okay. Details of the case. Just before the rocket was set to launch, 2 bombs went off. Boom! Boom! One on the second floor of the Space Center's main building and the one in the launch pad. Thankfully, only the 2 astronauts were in launch pad 1 at the time. The 2 of them managed to make it back as far as the boarding lounge. But after they escaped, one of the 2 was found stabbed to death.
A murder on top of a bombing? Detective, the victim was already dead by the time you arrived at the lounge, correct?
Yep. Thinking he'd sabotaged the bombing, the defendant killed him right there in the rocket. Just look at this tragic photo.
Oh my! Is that a knife in the victim's chest?
Yes, Your Honor. It's the knife that cruelly ended this young man's dreams. We couldn't get any prints off of it, though, because the defendant was in a spacesuit.
There's blood on it. But there's no fingerprints? Huh. Why are the victim's helmet and white glove absent from this photograph?
We had to remove them to identify him, Your Honor. I personally removed his glove during the investigation. We had to get his fingerprints to confirm his identity, after all.
Yes, it would be very difficult to identify him without a face or fingerprints. Now, there's just one more thing I'd like to inquire about. What is this round thing next to the victim in the photo? Something so important to the victim he took it with him as he escaped from the launch pad. A capsule that apparently contains asteroid samples. While obviously valuable for research purposes, it's in no relation to this case. I see. So, we know that the bomb in the main building was on the second floor. But where was the bomb that was in the launch pad located?
That one was on the rocket itself. It was situated around the central part of the rocket. Apparently, the area around the launch pad elevator was in a sea of flames. I would like to submit this diagram report into the record.
Oh boy, it's already getting...
The trial's just started and we're already in a bind.
You get used to it. Besides, that's what cross-examination is for, right? What the two astronauts were doing during the bombing, that'll be the key. Immediately saving. Just before the rocket was set to launch, two bombs went off. Boom and boom. How powerful were the explosions?
Well, the one in the main building wasn't strong enough to bring the place down, but the room it went off in was burned black. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. Due in large part, of course, to me stepping in to lead the evacuation.
Wait, what were you doing there in the first place, Detective Fulbright?
I'm Bobby Fulbright, hero of justice. I'll be there wherever and whenever people need my help. I'll go to the other side of the world or even the edge of the universe.
I'm not sure he knows how far that actually is, but I guess I'll leave that one alone. Admirable decision, Justice Dono.
Huh? What do you decide?
Anyway, could you describe what it was like at the Space Center at the time? The bomb cut the power to the central bank of elevators and the third floor lounge.
It was pitch black in there, I tell you. However, the security cameras and whatnot were running on emergency backup.
And how did the evacuation go?
I immediately and heroically whisked people down to the Space Center's basement shelter.
Basement shelter?
Yes, there's an emergency shelter beneath the space station. An emergency shelter, huh? Oh, here it is. It's at the bottom of the diagram. The Space Center is pretty impressive to have its own space shelter.
Okay. Power outage and the evacuation seem unrelated to the case, or to the murder at this point. I guess I'll leave that aside for now. So, there were 2 explosions in total, correct?
Yep, that's right.
Okay.
One on the second floor of the Space Center and one on the Launchpad 1.
Hold it. Let me get this straight. Mr. Starbuck rigged a rocket he was gonna board with explosives?
Huh? What are you talking about? if the defendant really did plant the bomb on his own rocket, he'd get caught in the explosion as well.
Oh, I hadn't even thought of that.
Fine. A simpleton for a simpleton. Fulbright, the motive.
Understood. The defendant actually had an astrophobia.
Astrophobia? The fuck is that?
A fear of space, naturally. Just the thought of space can cause the afflicted to freeze up. And so, in his terror, the defendant found a way to stop the launch at the last minute.
That's absurd.
Unfortunately for you, we have evidence. Take a look at these.
What the fuck are these?
Their anti-anxiety tablets were found among the defendant's possessions. Apparently, he was taking them in secret to quell his fears.
There were a multitude of problems with the rocket Mr. Starbuck wrote 7 years ago. Rumor has it, it threatened to crash a number of times as well. That was of course very traumatic for Mr. Starbuck.
Objection!
But that doesn't mean he'd go as far as to blow up his own ship.
Silence!
The defendant couldn't bear to mar his good name now, could he? No, not after the media had branded Soul Starbuck's space pioneer extraordinaire. Given these circumstances, the defendant couldn't hardly run away like some base mutt. What? So that's why you think he resorted to the bombing? Indeed, I think you. Oh, hey sis, what's going on? Naturally, he constructed this act of sabotage in an attempt to blow up the space center, which would effectively abort the launch, but spare his reputation. Ugh.
Now I'm sure you understand why we have to bring justice down on this atrocious criminal. Thankfully, only the 2 astronauts were in Launch Pad 1 at the time.
I smell bullshit on that. Are you sure it was only the 2 of them?
It was just before the spaceship was set to launch, so of course it was only those 2.
Well, there could have been somebody else inside the rocket.
Silence!
The notion of a third party in Launch Pad 1 is utterly absurd. Just to enter the area from the lounge, one must pass through a door guarded by a fingerprint recognition device. And allow me to state that up front that there are precious few with the clearance to do so.
A fingerprint recognition device? It sounds as futuristic and complex as a space center. Actually, it's not as amazing as you'd think, Your Honor. Take a look at this photo. This is the door in the lounge with the fingerprint lock. Only personnel whose fingerprints are registered can pass through.
I see. That is very different from what I had in mind. And there,
And there's a record number of people that passed through the door yesterday. Yes, there were only 3. The defendant, the victim, and the director of the Space Center, Yuri Cosmos.
then doesn't that mean it's possible that the director is the one who did it? Not a chance. He was in the main building when the bombs exploded at 9:28, doing his job directing the launch. Besides having an alibi, he has no motive for committing these senseless acts. He has a point. I guess the director can't be considered a suspect then.
The 2 of them managed to make it back as far as the boarding lounge.
Are you sure about that? So, while it could appear that they barely escaped with their lives, in actuality, one of them had already been murdered inside the rocket. That's the angle the prosecution wants to push, correct? You've got it. In fact, that's what I've been trying to say this whole time. If the victim had been alive, he would have for sure tried to stop the bombing. Is there any chance Mr. Terran could have been killed before he boarded the rocket? They were both alive and well at the boarding time, and embarked under their own power. Their hearts full of hopes and dreams of space. And then both of their hopes and dreams were dashed. If I may continue my explanation, after the evacuation order was given, the defendant made his escape, carrying the victim to make it look like a rescue. But after the escape, one of the two was found stabbed to death. I want to look at something. Evacuation reports. Police officers and riot police gave evacuation instructions immediately. There was a power outage and the affected areas remained dark. The security system switched over to emergency power and continued to work. Evacuees moved to the basement shelter. Okay. An independent security company manages the use of records. Backup power allows for the function even when the power goes out. Attempts to use it are also recorded via security camera. Okay, and who was the first to find the victim? Actually, there were two of them. The Space Center director, Yuri Cosmos, and Detective Candace Arm. So this is before Candace Arm passed away. Okay.
One of them was a detective.
Yep, Detective Arm specializes in bombings, you see. She and the director were ordering the evacuation following the explosions. They were also worried about the astronauts, so they hurried over to the boarding lounge. That's when they discovered the victim along with the defendant.
Two witnesses, huh? And one of them was a detective? I doubt either one of them would have anything to say that would help me. I think that pretty much covers the details of the case. Only the victim and the defendant were on the launch pad when the former was killed. If this is the truth, then only Mr. Starbuck could have carried out this crime. What little I could get out of him only hurt my case. Justice don't know. Foolish is the warrior who rushes headlong into battle. Preparation is an essential element of battle, so I advise you take a gander at this. What is it?
Footage from a security camera.
As the two astronauts emerged from the bowels of the launch pad, one interior or corridor,
the boarding lounge security camera captured their desperate escape.
now I would direct your attention to what the defendant is shouldering, which you can see is none other than the lifeless body of the victim.
What?
Order, I say. This lines up exactly with what the prosecution has been asserting.
I should have known Blackwell would have something like this ready. Apollo? How exactly did they determine that Clay was already gone from the footage? Ah, I see what you mean. Whether Clay was alive at that point is pretty crucial. Your Honor, please take another look at the footage. Is it impossible that Mr. Tieran was still alive here and Mr. Starbuck was helping him?
Why, I believe you're right. One man carrying the other to safety. What a beautiful expression of friendship.
Silence.
Perhaps that's what it looks like to a one-eyed, hot-headed, and a dotard. But it only makes sense if it's the victim's dead body. What do you mean? Fulbright, explain it to Justice Dono. You've got it. Ready, kid? If the murder had occurred in the lounge, someone could have spotted it. Anyone could enter the lounge after all. But doing it while they were alone in the spaceship? That's a horse of a different color.
Objection!
But you can't deny that there's a possibility the murder could have happened in the lounge. All the video shows the man helping out his fellow astronaut.
Silence!
Your assertion is based on emotion. It's based on your belief that Mr. Starbuck would surely help his own disciple, which would have no logical explanation as to why the victim could still be alive.
Ugh. Unfortunately, Mr. Justice, the prosecution is right. Your argument is lacking in sound logic.
But it sounded perfectly logical to me.
Well, Mr. Justice, if you have no further objections, I believe it's time to bring out this cross-examination, or bring this cross-examination to a close.
Objections? Your Honor, the defense requests a little time to think and regroup.
Given the facts, I'm not sure I see the need.
What is it, Athena? It's just, there's something that's been bothering me. If it isn't the defense stalling for time as always. Very well, I'm feeling generous. You may have a small measure of time. Yes. You have 5 seconds. 5 seconds?! After that, I declare this cross-examination to be closed and a verdict to be rendered. Your baldness, raise your gavel high. It's time for a countdown. Oh! Ready?
We don't have time! Spit it out, Athena! Only 10 more seconds!
Look, I don't think the prosecution's explanation is very complete. Meaning there's something missing. Like, they conveniently left it unexplained. Something they didn't explain. You're right. I think I know what you're talking about.
Your 5 seconds are up, Mr. Justice. Is there anything about the prosecution's argument you'd like to refute?
Yes, Your Honor. Actually, there is. There's something about that the prosecution has yet to make clear to this court.
Well, if you put it that way. What does the prosecution fail to explain?
Prosecution hasn't explained the defendant's motive yet, have they?
But didn't they just explain that Mr. Karen was a threat to the success of the bombing, so he had to be destroyed?
I looked away, that's my fault. They have failed to explain why Mr. Starbuck would bother even bringing the body back at all. If the defendant wanted to kill the victim, why didn't they just leave the body in the rocket? Why go through the trouble of bringing him all the way back to the boarding lounge?
Oh, that's true. I don't think we've heard the prosecution's thought on that yet.
That's because they have none, Your Honor. After all, how does one go explaining something so illogical? The prosecution is claiming that the defendant moved the victim's dead body. But if the entire what if the entire premise of that argument is wrong?
Then let's hear your theory, Mr. Justice.
The defense proposes that the defendant didn't kill the victim, he was helping him. Fulbright, explain it for our sad friend here before I nod off from his monotone monologue. Inform him exactly why Spaceboy moved the victim. Huh? They gotta be joking. It's simple. Mr. Starbuck did what he did to direct suspicion away from himself. He wanted to create the impression he heroically risked his life to save his partner. That's why he made sure to make it to the security camera so there'd be a record. At the very least, he appears to have achieved success with you and the old man.
One man carrying the other to safety. What a beautiful expression of friendship.
The average person wearing a spacesuit weighs over 200 pounds? Goddamn! Saving the life of a partner who weighs as much while trying to escape deadly flames. What a dramatic sob story fit for a silver screen.
Indeed, I was completely taken in by the humanity of the story.
See? Yet the true ending is that all traces of its hammy act were meant to be blown up. Yes, and now we arrive at the thrilling conclusion, the third explosion.
What are you talking about? There was no third explosion.
Silence!
Indeed, you are correct. But that is all thanks to Detective Vaughn. It was she who identified and secured the bomb. However, it doesn't change the fact that the third bomb was discovered in the lounge. The steel coffin beside the witness stand, that would be a bomb transport case. We used that to transport the deactivated bomb here. It was found in the lounge. A bomb in the form of a most distasteful toy.
What?
One on the second floor of the main building and one on the launch pad and one in the lounge. The defendant planned to set off 3 firework displays. Fortunately, the third bomb was discovered before it could be detonated, for it did not. The victim's body and the other vital evidence would surely have been immolated.
Objection!
Ah! Before you utter a word, know that the evidence supports me. It's like he's reading my mind. As it is still undergoing forensic investigation, I do not have the evidence on hand. However, know that the peculiar item that was found in one of Mr. Starbuck's pockets, specifically a bomb detonation switch. You found what? I suspect the defendant had no time to destroy such damning evidence. When the Space Center Director and Detective Arms stumbled across the murder. So, he thought to hide it in his pocket. Feeble brain that he is.
No! Mr. Starbuck would never do anything like that.
Justice Dono, open your eyes and see the truth.
This appears to be irrefutable evidence that the accused set off the explosions.
No, there has to be some kind of mistake. This can't be the truth. Still can't accept it. You'll believe in your client, come what may? Then why don't you cross-examine the defendant himself? This has got to be a trap. It's like Blackwell's controlling the entire game. Yeah, it seems like he's waiting for me to bring up the body moving issue. Why do you say that? Because he had just the right argument when I pointed it out. And to really rub it in, he had a decisive piece of evidence up his sleeve too. He was trying to shake my faith in Mr. Starbuck and break me down. Then making you cross-examine Mr. Starbuck at this point was part of his plan too? Totally underhanded, but I wouldn't expect anything less of him. Now, let us hear from the arch-villain, the fiendish murderer himself, famed astronaut Solomon Starbuck.
Witness, your name and occupation, please.
Solomon Starbuck, astronaut. How did this happen?
Mr. Starbuck, you aren't looking very well. Will you be able to give a testimony?
No.
Well, unfortunately, no is not an option. You are being accused of the Space Center bombing and the murder of Clay Taylor. Please testify to these allegations.
Mind if I take this suit off? It's getting really heavy.
Silence!
It's not the weight of the suit. Oh god,
It's not the weight of the suit that you feel, but your sins. Prepare to carry that weight for the rest of your life.
Banish me to the moon. I don't care anymore. Wow, that is super negative. Is he gonna be alright up there? He'll be fine, I think. As long as he doesn't totally give up and say he did it, that is. I didn't kill him. Oh, now he has a fierce expression. All I did was support Clay over my shoulder and get us out of the rocket. Like always, I took the elevator down to the middle level and headed for the corridor. Clay had passed out by the time we got the order to evacuate. I didn't kill Clay. I was trying to save him.
So you assert you didn't set off the bombs or murder the victim?
Well, I bet you think I'm lying, right?
I reserve all judgment until after I've heard your full testimony.
I'm sure you don't believe me. I bet you don't even believe I'm an astronaut.
I don't believe the judge doubts that. Who would wear a suit like that except an astronaut? I will say that when I saw you in that movie, you appeared quite courageous. Suppose reality never quite lives up to the fantasy.
I guess I'm just a big disappointment. I really don't care what happens anymore.
Oh no, he's completely given up.
What a depressing fellow. If you were to join me in the clink, I imagine that annoying sighing of yours would rub off on the other inmates. Look how it's rubbed off on Prosecutor Blackwell a second ago. Huh? That was Blackwell's sighing? Mr. Starbuck's testimony contained a glaring contradiction. The question is, what does that mean? Even if Starbuck is my client, I can't be gun shy now. It's time to find out the truth. It didn't kill him. So what you're saying is that the victim was still alive at that time? Of course. He was alive and well.
Silence!
If so, then you admit you took the man who was alive and well and silenced him permanently with this?
What? No, black hole confirmed. Dead ahead. It's no good, Captain. I'm getting sucked in.
Objection!
Mr. Starbuck, you're not in space. Please give your testimony seriously.
It was just nerves, but maybe I shouldn't have said he was alive and well. It was more like he was slumped over. Those are complete opposite ends of the spectrum. Like always, I took the elevator down to the middle level and headed for the corridor. Is that the elevator inside the launch pad area? That's right, we always use it to get to and from the cockpit. That makes sense. So he was using the route he always used, in spite of the fact that there had just been an explosion? Huh? I think Mr. Starbuck is hiding something. Something pretty big.
Objection!
Mr. Starbuck, I need your testimony to be as accurate as possible. Was I not being accurate? No, because it's impossible for you to have taken the elevator down to the middle level.
What makes you say that, Mr. Justice?
Please recall where the bomb went off in Launch Pad 1. Also recall that after the explosion, the middle level elevator was engulfed in flames.
Ah, you're right, which means...
Exactly. The launch pad's elevator would have been unusable. In other words, Mr. Starbuck, your statement is decidedly inconsistent with the facts. What's with the helmet? Ah! Mission Command! Mission Command! You read me! I'm in! Please!
Objection!
This is Mission Command.
I order you to pay attention!
Stop this nonsense and answer my questions, Mr. Starbuck. Ah! My helmet! Ah! Ah! My oxygen tank! Oxygen concentration of the body temperature declining. Requesting medical assistance.
Mr. Starbuck, we are not in space right now. Please stop pretending you have lost consciousness and stand back up.
I apologize, Your Honor. I forgot I was still on Earth. I feel like we all just got a real glimpse of Solomon Starbuck the astronaut. Yeah, you seem more like an astronaut now than when he was doing all that sighing. Mr. Starbuck, could you please explain the inconsistency in your statement about how you used the middle elevator? I was nervous and said the wrong thing. I'm sorry. I actually took a different route, I think. A different route? You think? Come on, dude, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I hope you're able to deliver a straight story this time. I'll get right to it this time. When maybe, no, I mean, probably. Probably.
It's understandable to be nervous, but let me remind you, your accuracy is paramount in court.
My escape route. Let's see, my escape route. What I said before was a mistake. I remember now. I took a different route. Maybe, probably. With the capsule and clay in my arms, I made my way from the upper level. So you're saying you escaped without using the elevator? That's right. There's a ladder that spans the upper and middle levels. I used the ladder to get to the middle level. Luckily, the fire hadn't reached the ladder, so we can make our escape that way. The capsule that you mentioned. I suppose you mean the thing laying next to Mr. Terran here? Was the capsule really that important that you'd risk your life to take it with you? It almost goes without saying, but yeah, that capsule contains asteroid samples. Therefore, it's invaluable as research material. With this spacesuit on, clay weighed a ton, and securing the capsule was also important. I need you to answer to the best of your ability. Mr. Starbuck, please remember that your verdict is riding on your testimony. Maybe I am guilty after all. I wonder if you can see the stars in prison. Bet it's more comfortable than a spaceship. See, my escape route. What I said before was a mistake. How could you mistake such a basic fact? Hey, everyone makes mistakes, but try thinking about the vastness of space instead. From Earth, it took 4 light years to travel to our nearest neighboring star. So you see, compared to the vast expanse of space, human error is insignificant. I wish you'd consider it just a little more significant than 0. Enough jabbering. Get on with your testimony. I remember now. I took a different route. Maybe. Probably. Maybe? Probably? Did I hear you right, Mr. Starbuck? I didn't say either of those things. Mission Control, come in, please. An error has occurred in the sound system. Activate the emergency tin can telephone. Oh no! Tin can telephones are ineffective in the Maximus.
Silence!
Stop this nonsense or I will sever you and your tin can telephone. Alright, I'm begging you, I'll tell the truth. You're still separate anyway. Hello, is he gonna be alright? I'm starting to think he's not. Let's see. So, it's about when we were running away. With the capsule and clay in my arms, I made my way down to the upper level. The upper level of the launch at the upper level of the launch pad area? That's right. That's what I said, isn't it? Granted, that route does exist. So to recap, you had clay over your right shoulder and the capsule in your left hand? Yeah, it's really important, so I couldn't let it get burned up. So even though clay was really heavy, I couldn't afford to carry him with both hands. I did the best I could to carry him over my shoulder and the capsule in the other hand. I don't think the meaning of what he just said has hit him yet. You know what you have to do with that statement, Justice Dono. Yes, I know. Well, I've come this far, no turning back. It's time to present some evidence. Mr. Starbuck escaped. You had to ensure this. I think you could have walked under those circumstances. Walking straight forward is probably all I would have been able to manage. I'll save because I'm like, I think I have to present the picture again.
Objection!
Mr. Starbuck, why don't you just tell the truth? The truth? Let's see. The Earth is blue? No, that's not right. So, I guess the Earth isn't blue. Yeah, that's it. The truth, Mr. Starbuck.
The oxygen concentration is similar in this area. Prepare the emergency oxygen tanks.
Mr. Justice, the witness appears confused. Please, Mr. Justice, the witness appears confused. Please help him draw the truth from him. Mr. Starbuck, under the circumstances at the time, you couldn't possibly have reached the boarding lab via the upper level route. Huh? Not as long as this was along the escape route.
Take that!
To get down from the upper to the middle level where the launch pad one corridor is, you would have had to go down the ladder. Isn't that right, Mr. Starbuck? Of course. That was the only way we could escape.
Objection!
But how would that work? At the time, you were supporting Mr. Terran over your shoulder, were you not? And remember, he was in full space gear as well, putting him well over 200 pounds. Well, it's easy on the moon. Gravity is only 1/6 of what it is on Earth.
Objection!
But the Space Center is located on Earth. Short of being an octopus climbing a ladder with an adult male in space gear in one arm, while carrying the capsule in your other is impossible, wouldn't you say? So, Mr. Starbuck, how exactly did you climb down the ladder with your arms full? Mr. Starbuck, come clean and tell us the truth now!
Engineer
that engineer. Oxygen leak detected.
Hold on.
What the hell? He's flying the coop. Ah, help! I'm caught in the ceiling.
Help?
Anyone? Bailiff, prepare a cherry picker. We must launch our rescue mission at once.
Well, that's one way to take off while being questioned. I'd rather prove his innocence so he can go to the space again someday for real.
Now then, Mr. Starbuck, do you think you can keep your fake planet on the ground?
Yes, I apologize for losing my control, man. Are you ready to tell us the truth?
Ah, not that. Anything but that.
What is going on? This isn't the Mr. Starbuck I know. It appears Space Boy is prone to deception. Witness?
Yeah. Yes.
I thought your story odd, but perhaps the inconsistencies can be explained as the result of a medical side effect.
Ah, Prosecutor Blackwood, please don't talk about that.
What are you talking about, Prosecutor Blackwell? Didn't I already state that Space Boy is ironically terrified of going into space? That's why he took some precautions just before the launch. For you see, traces of this anti-anxiety drug were found in his system. Oh? I sense things are about to take a nosedive.
You've got it all wrong. I told him during the investigation, too. I don't know anything about drugs. I never took any medication, I swear.
It was found in his system, but he doesn't remember taking it? How could that be?
Somebody must have slipped them to me. But I guess maybe that's why I don't remember. Because of the side effects. Yeah, that's why I don't remember much about what really happened. What?
Order in the court.
We can't get any useful information or useful testimony out of him if he doesn't remember anything. Damn it. Well, this certainly explains why his testimony kept changing. Why didn't he just tell me he couldn't remember? I guess he didn't want anyone to find out he was terrified of going into space. Maybe I really did do it. Which brings us to the answer of our original question of how the witness climbed down the ladder with a dead body. It does? So what is it? A dead man feels no pain and makes no complaints, Justice Dono. So the body was simply dropped down from the top of the ladder.
Oh my, I see. And then the defendant could climb down the ladder with his freedom.
Objection!
Drop the body down? Who would do such a disrespectful thing? Besides, dropping the body down would leave marks on the body itself. So you were capable of quick thinking. Yes, you were correct. Really? Oh, thanks? Yes. Ow! Huh? What the fuck is this? It's the oxygen tank in the victim's spacesuit. It ruptured, and I'm sure you can figure out why. You can't be implying it ruptured when the defendant dropped the victim's body. I am, for they fracture easily when struck.
Objection!
Even if that's true, the tank's explosion and the shrapnel would leave its mark on the body. Yet, according to the autopsy report, only the knife wound was found on the victim's body. You're clearly grasping at straws with this line of reasoning, Blackwell.
Silence!
The spacesuit isn't heavy for the sake of being heavy, Justice Dono. It includes the latest technology devices and is made of fabric of tomorrow. This fabric is made to protect astronauts from the dangers of space. So falling a few Earth yards would hardly leave a mark on its wear.
Objection!
Then shouldn't it be impossible to stab someone through it as well? It should, and yet through sheer coincidence, The knife slipped through a weak spot in the suit's structure and found its way to the target. What are the chances? Forget that our killer is an astronaut himself with the knowledge of how suits work. Or you forget.
He's got me there.
And now, my argument's been proven. Spaceboy killed the victim in the rocket and then dropped his body from the upper level.
After climbing down, he shouldered the body and made sure the camera recorded him. There's no room for debate about these facts. It is clear that Solomon Starbuck is the only one who could have killed Clay Terran. No! Here, the report regarding the astronaut's oxygen tank. Consider it my send-off gift.
Feel free to use it as payment to cross-examine the river Styx. Hey, this report is pretty detailed. The display on the astronaut's left shoulder shows the oxygen remaining. After the incident, the victim's tank was ruptured and the remaining oxygen was 0%. The oxygen belonging to Starbuck, who claims to have carried the victim, said it was at 80% full. Tanks were functioning properly the whole time. Let's see, the shoulder display on the astronaut's left shoulder. But it said 80 though. I'm done for. I'm going to prison instead of space.
Space boy. You guess?
Take heart. The bejeweled night sky is still beautiful even when viewed through bars. You mean stars are seen from prison? That's right. Your cell will be your spaceship. Picture the view through the iron bars. It's like being an astronaut in your own craft for all time. That's not a half bad thought. Mr. Starbuck? How's gonna Blackwell's got him good? Spaceship prison cell, fly me, my guilt and my despair to the deepest, darkest space. And then, let's get sucked into a black hole together.
Objection!
Mr. Starbuck, you can't give up hope. Oh? Yes, Apollo? You know, Clay really looked up to you. Said you were an incredible man. He said he'd never give up your dreams and passion for space, no matter the situation. He said that? About poor old me? So don't give up now and help me prove your innocence. For the sake of the man who respected you and believed in you, Clay Terran. For Clay?
You're wasting your breath.
Apollo, thank you. I can see things clearly now, man. Mr. Starbuck, I'm fine now. Thanks for reminding me of my life's mission. Right, we'll both be fine. I'll prove you're innocent, you'll see. And after that, we'll get you back into space. Whoa! You've ignited the booster rockets of my soul, man! I'm on fire! I'm Solomon Starbuck, astronaut, a cosmic hero chosen by the universe itself. There's no time to be whimpering and crying. I can't let you and Clay down.
Balderdash.
The sun, the moon, all of space is calling for me. Solomon Starbuck! Ready for launch! Begin the countdown! 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off!
Well, I feel like I've witnessed an actual rocket launch.
Apollo, you did it. You broke Prosecutor Blackwell's grip over Starbuck.
I can't take the credit. It was all Mr. Starbuck. He pulled himself through. You simpletons are done massaging one another's egos. No matter how positive your attitude, my advantage remains unshakable. I have but to wait for the final guilty verdict. Isn't that right, Hippolytus? Can't let up now. I have to stop Blackwell. I have to see this through. Mr. Starbuck just had made it back into space. I can't allow Clay's dream to remain unfulfilled. I've got to destroy Blackwell's argument somehow. Think, Justice, think. The only person at the launch pad who won were Clay and Mr. Starbuck. And if Clay was already dead by the time that footage was taken, then the only person who could have killed him was Mr. Starbuck. So the only way to counter Blackwell's argument is if I can prove that Clay was still alive when they arrived at the boarding lounge. In which case, I should be able to find some contradiction in that evidence itself. Well, this is the evidence right here. That's why they keep showing it. There was still oxygen in his tank. He said it was at 80, but it's at 50. Now let's see. About this data we just received. This supposedly proves that Mr. Starbuck dropped Mr. Clay's body in the launch pad. But if I'm going to prove that false, then there's something else I can use here. Enough of this farcy baldness. Let's have your verdict.
Objection!
Not so fast, Prosecutor Blackwell. You seem to be in quite a hurry to rush the verdict. But about this oxygen tank data that you submitted just now, it says that Mr. Starbuck's tank had 80% capacity when Mr. Tarrant had 0. Do you stand by that accuracy of this report? Of course. Then I guess it simply means that it's faulty, as evidence goes. You will explain what you mean, Justice Dono. It's simple. This evidence contradicts the facts in this case. Take a look at the detailed description and you'll see what I mean.
I hope you'll have some evidence, Mr. Justice, because I don't see what's so contradictory.
It says it was at fucking 80 and it was at 50. Damn.
And how does this evidence present a contradiction?
The problem is this part here. So it says 50 instead of 80.
Note that the remaining oxygen in Mr. Starbuck's tank as he carries Mr. Tarrant.
It appears it's like 50. Yes, but according to the data, our client's tank had 80% remaining.
The oxygen in the tank is greased.
I see Your Honor finds it as strange as I do. Bad enough that there is a contradiction, but the increase in oxygen is beyond illogical.
Oh my, you're absolutely right. What is going on here?
Silence!
I too find it odd that the oxygen remaining has increased. It would be as odd as if my rations were to increase. But what does that prove? It doesn't change the fact that it is the defendant carrying the victim's corpse.
Objection!
I'm gonna bet you don't get more rations because you don't abide by the rules. Either way, the oxygen remaining shouldn't increase, just as your rations don't increase. Therefore, this new information is critical. We can't overlook it.
Silence!
In
In that case, do you have an answer to this riddle of the mysteriously increasing oxygen? You better not disappoint or I'll declare the inconsistency as mere equipment malfunction.
Prosecutor Blackwell has a point. I suppose it could be a simple malfunction. Mr. Justice, if you cannot provide an adequate counter-argument to this point, I'm afraid I must bring this trial to an end. So, think you can explain why the remaining oxygen level increased?
Of course I can. The thing to do at a time like this is turn my thinking around. Mr. Starbuck has no memory of it, but he claims to have carried clay. So this man with the 50 oxygen tank ought to be Mr. Starbuck. But if anything, the oxygen display on his tank should have shown an 80. This is a clear contradiction between the report and security footage. So what should I be asking if not why did the oxygen level increase, but what had to have happened to make it look like it increased? Am I making some kind of mistake in my base assumptions here?
Well, Mr. Justice, we're waiting.
The person that was carried wasn't Clay. It was him. It was Starbuck.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm ready to answer. This is why the remaining oxygen appears to have increased.
The victim's carrying the defendant. What if it were the other way around?
The other way around? Would you care to explain, Mr. Justice?
As you can see, Your Honor, both men had their helmets on in this footage. But it turns out, this is where our base assumptions went astray. We assumed that it was Mr. Starbuck helping Mr. Tarrant, but it was the other way around. It wasn't Mr. Starbuck helping Mr. Tarrant at all. It was Mr. Tarrant who was helping Mr. Starbuck to the boarding lounge.
It was what? Order! Mr. Justice! You mean to tell me that the person on the right in this image is the victim, Clay Tarrant?
It's the only way the riddle of the increasing oxygen level can be solved, Your Honor. At this point in time, the remaining oxygen in the victim's tank was at 50%. And when he died in the boarding lounge, his tank was at 0%. That's right. There's nothing contradictory about the oxygen level decreasing. That means Mr. Tarrant was alive as they made their escape to the lounge.
Silence!
How short your memory is. Have you forgotten what you yourself proposed? Even if the victim was alive at this point in time, how did he descend the ladder with his arms full?
Objection!
Prosecutor Blackwell, you can't hurt me with a broken blade. Excuse me? It's true that we don't know how they got down the ladder. I suppose that matter needs further investigating. But we have proven that Mr. Tarrant was alive when he reached the boarding lounge. This fact alone shatters your claims, and opens a new possibility that the victim could have been killed by a third party. There were two people who claimed to be first on the scene, but can we truly trust their statements? Let's see, the two people were Detective Candace Arm and Yuri Cosmos, right? Do you think that one of them might have given the false statement to the police? Yes, it's certainly possible. We might have to do a little bit more digging.
It seems we'll have to hear the testimony of the first two people on the scene.
Score.
Come to think of it, Detective Arn should be in the court right now. Bailiff, could you please show Detective Arn to the stand?
I have an announcement to make, everyone.
What's the meaning of this? We're in the middle of a trial here.
Please remain calm and listen carefully. Someone has reactivated the bomb. Oh, it's this fucking thing. I'm like, what is Ted Tomei doing here? So this is when this exploded, and he never... Yeah, because another case was going on, and this is the courtroom that it exploded in. So he got... harmed in the explosion, and he still went on to get this guy. Okay. Explode. Shut up! Explode! I'm out of here. Bomb? Now? Ah! Everybody run! Ah! I don't want to die! Oh no! Everyone's panicking!
Silence.
Headless chickens with the death wish, the lot of you, calm yourselves for all else. Come on, Apollo, let's get out of here. But what about Mr. Starbuck's dream? And who will carry out Clay's final wish? I don't care what happens to me. I'm not letting some bomb blow the truth up forever. I refuse to let things end here. Apollo, this is not going to be dramatic. If we don't get out of here now, we're going to die. Come on, this way. Hey, ouch, let go of me. Apollo, Juniper? She hasn't evacuated yet? Ah! Juniper, are you okay? Apollo, no, not that way. Ah. So that's what happened. Alright. I think this is a good spot to leave it off on and come back to it later. Thanks for checking out the stream. Look out for the next one, dudes. That wasn't bad. I'm like, it's definitely going back to before the first case I did with Ted Tony killing Candace Arm. So, there's gonna be some interchanging and like memories and stuff here. But thanks for checking everything out, dudes. I appreciate you. Look out for my next one. Later.